all that money that I generate, I then put back into the loan I then asked for and paid off. That would be then considered good debt. Because the money that I actually asked for is working for me, and it's not just going back into the bank. But instead it's generating an income. And it's not taking from my pocket as well. It's generating an income while paying me as well. And it pays itself off as well. You know, so
You've just stepped into An Empty Street, a podcast where we casually engage in difficult conversations about relationships, wealth, and health. We are just three curious gentlemen who ask questions almost about everything, and our aim is to find answers from others and within ourselves. We sit down every week to explore unaltered conversations. So let's walk the talk together, and welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
In 3, 2, 1, and we rolling.
Welcome to the Empty Street podcast.
Another Tuesday, another week, another day.
And live.
Another 12 p.m.
Another 12 p.m. We don't miss.
But later we're tune in.
Otherwise,
it's always there, Ghana. So there's always time to catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
It will never be a problem, even if they miss the premiere. An hour later, 24 hours later, a day later, you can still catch up. That's the beauty of it. It's always on the internet. So it will always be there for you to reference.
So I think in the way.
I didn't know it. Just for you to click.
Anytime I can go anytime. But otherwise, in a big situation with as Kuruma when one of those episodes Kuruma about the buying behavior, right? Then thinking about the buying behavior is we don't just buy, but at the end of the day, the number after effect that follows, which go broke. Uber broke, I don't think
in my life.
So as much buyer maybe with your closing having maybe that 1,000 or 9. Thinking good time, that's just about me pre-pack, which is 150, then missing a boy, then ending up spending almost around 700, then you coming back in the house like I'm left with 300, then you still have like 2 weeks left within the month to complete. It's like that's lapho uqala khona namamuthi Monday mo Español. So but izinto ezinjalo siqala la. So then they uyabona ukuthi ezingabantu as much as siphila the way we spend ngakhona, we need that education when it comes to literacy, which financial literacy, which akusinto esifundisiwe from primary, secondary, even tertiary. Tertiary mongafika ukuthi ufuna ukuba accountant is fine, you can be an accountant, but you never be told with how do you handle your finance from home. How do you teach your son? How do you teach your daughter? Your parents? That's scale from la kakhulukazi.
That's where it should start.
You should start. So even accounting yakhona, you teach a lot of those basics, but I teach about financial literacy. I think it's one of the issue is safara guyo as people. I wouldn't say the race, but at the end of the day, as people who are suffering, all of us, about financial literacy. I think it's one of the concepts that we should look at as we think about your finances.
Everyone must be financially literate.
It's important, it's crucial.
Like how to handle money, basically. I feel it's something we all need to know, from a young age, so that by the time you go into the real world, like after post high school, because that's when you start facing most of your challenges. So when you're still in high school, most of the things are being done for you. So I feel like the years after high school is when you start fending for yourself most of the time.
Yeah.
So maybe you might get a bursary.
Sure.
Yeah. Or you might have some money that gets put aside for you. That's sort of like a trust.
Yeah.
So by the time you get this scale, then there's money put aside for you.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case, then most of the times you
have to start.
Yeah, you have to really fend for yourself. You need to know how you spend your money and be wise about it. Like be savvy.
Yeah.
You can't just spend your money with not actually thinking what the ksasa anyways are. Like having money for rainy days, basically.
Yeah.
You never get taught what you know what you need money for rainy days.
Wait.
Yeah, so-
There's you are there. So let me take you back. You were using NSFAS.
No.
No, you were not. You were using NSFAS, right?
yeah.
So during your time where you were using NSFAS and you were receiving this fund through Fundi cards, right?
Yeah.
So now, were you able to save?
No, I wasn't saving. You know why? Because I knew that the money is gonna come back again.
Yeah.
So it's like a security, and it's no different from a job. It's like in the
Because you spend,
when
you
we're in
know
a
next
job,
month.
we spend with this year's good. Next month end, it's coming true. And manje, you get to live from hand to mouth. One
Living
paycheck to
paycheck,
paycheck.
yeah.
And into feeling that financial literacy should be taught like from a very young age.
Yeah,
Even mathematics as well. Like for instance, in maths lead, that's maybe the subject that could be teaching people a lot about our finances, most especially personal finances. But in the way I was teach you to join Apula 17 and then whatever. So it's like it doesn't really apply to real life. I feel like umntana from a very young age, in order to get something, you should work for it in a way, and then if I give you money, you should save that money. I don't remember who it was. I think it's Patrick Bet David. I'm not sure, but I think the guy pay yourself first before we spend. And usually the concept of paying ourselves first, we think I'm gonna take myself to Nando's, I'm gonna spoil myself and all of that. But it's more like investing. And it's a concept that they discuss in the book The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't know if you read it. If you have 10 eggs, save 1 egg on the side.
10% of what you're getting.
10% of what you're getting. And then after, say, you receive those eggs for 12 times, you know, Guti, you have 12 eggs on the side already.
That are saved.
That you can do something with them, reinvest that somewhere else, buy something that you know is gonna give you returns back or stuff like that.
And like speaking on the reinvesting, most of the time I think we don't really get exposed to like the benefits of compound interest. Because sometimes even when you start investing in a bank institution, most of the time people don't really go for bank institutions because the interest rate is much
very low.
It's very low. So return
they think of
proper. So people then go to different outlets. They maybe go invest in equities or stocks, whatever, just to get much higher returns than they would in a bank institution. And so, but what they normally do is they tell you, or they ask you rather, would say, do you want the interest to come straight into your account, or do you want to reinvest it? And that reinvestment is where the compound then starts working. Because that's the money, every interest that you earn, you reinvest it. So you're making money on top of the money you already make. And that's a very crucial point when it comes to investing, knowing that you mustn't take out your money too soon, because
and it should be about, like, I feel like when it comes to investing, it's not smart people who are investing. It's just people who are patient. People who know, if ever I'm fucking mad so much, I'll have to wait for 15 years. For instance, Warren Buffett, I don't know what age, but he's over 60. He made a billionaire at through investing, while I think back at 50 or 60. But it took him this amount of years to arrive at that point of ends a billionaire. So it only takes impatience. I think that's the first thing that we should be looking at and practicing. And most I want to, for instance, ngesikhathi ngisaposta about investing. Abantu would ask ukuthi, how much are the returns? And then umuntu ngibuza ukuthi, like, it depends. Are you a short-term investor or are you
long-term?
For long-term.
And those are the things. Long-term it's only effective if you're looking at long-term. Because anything short-term, you won't see much of it.
And then that's how you make money when it comes to investments, compounding, plus the rent cost averaging. So what the rent cost averaging is investing 10 Rand today, investing
tomorrow
20 Rand, investing 30 Rand. So, and the option layer gonna go stash, the 10 cent challenge. So it goes from 10 cents, 20 to 30. So that's the rent cost averaging. So that's how you also like make your results more fruitful.
I once met this boss. This guy, the way he was doing in terms of financial literacy, he had a son and a daughter. So what he used to do is that you guys are getting money every day when you go to school. You will get around 10 rands, right? When you get 10 rand, that's 10 rand per day.
Sure.
That means if 10 rand per day, how many days do you go to school? That's 5 days. 5 days times 10, that means it's 50 rands. Right. So in a day, that means in a week you can have 50 rand. If 50 rand times 5, that makes it what? 25. 25 times 4, 100 rands. So that means, now we always tells them that if you can save up to whichever amount that you can have at the end of the month, then you bring that amount to me. I'll give double of that.
Whatever you save.
Whatever you have saved. But if you decide to take that amount, then you eat it as good, it's still fine. But it depends on what you want. If you want the double amount of at the end of the month, you bring the highest. You bring the best that you can bring, then you get the double of that. But now, if you decide to chow it all, then you bring 10 rand, still fine. You will get 20 rand back.
I think it's also a cool.
It's one of the motivation behind. I think the psychology of the young mind, just to keep on motivating them.
I think it's a cool way of motivating them. Patient. Like young ones, there's actually rewards for you saving. If you can save 100 rand, I'll double it. It also instills something in them. You know what? I have a purpose of actually saving towards something and make them goal driven. Because I think another thing is that sometimes it's hard to save if you have nothing to save towards. So if you have a goal in place, then already you have something to save towards. Like a trip. It doesn't always have to be a vacation or whatever, but in most cases that's what people save for. That's what they save towards. Okay, I'm planning a December trip, maybe to Cape Town or whatever the case is. And then they use the whole of that year to actually save towards that month when they actually go out. That is goal.
So having a goal makes you
it makes you more focused.
Why you should be
actually
doing
But then
it gives you purpose.
If you talk about the goal, this guy, what he does is that after maybe they say they have a trip, they will go somewhere, and then maybe one of his child will be like, can we stop at KFC?
Sure.
Once we stop, he will ask, what do you want there? I was like, I want maybe full box. Okay, full box. How much do you have? Do you have money to buy that? Maybe like, nah, daddy, buy it for me. Doesn't work like that. How much do you have? I can only fill you up, not give you the whole thing. Yes. So I know you budgeting. I know you have an amount. Give me something so I can fill you up, right? So it was like, okay, if you have 50 rand, then I can give you the rest. But you must bring something. If you don't, then let's move on.
And value, I want to learn color from a very young age. From the moment we grow up, we just get used to the mindset of spending, of consuming, without thinking that there might be a tomorrow. Yeah, you only live once.
In the
money
future,
you
you
have-
still, like, what about the days after you work when there's no money coming in?
Yeah.
You know?
Things like, for instance, no one teaches you that you should have an emergency fund. Like, it's just life. Something is gonna pop up and it's gonna need money. And you go to your account, you don't have money. Because when you were just only living once. And then
Paycheck to
that's
paycheck.
it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's another thing I think we should be learning more and teaching more to the youngins. Not only having the consumer mindset, but also having the mindset you save something. You actually acquire things that are gonna
Assets.
give you returns.
Yes,
Assets.
So yeah.
There was this other video I saw, Yaga Robert, what's his surname? Kiyosaki,
yeah,
from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Where he was saying, like, times have changed, you know? The way we handle money has changed. Things are evolving, but the school system is still the same. Why are they not, like, adapting to how money is being handled in this day and age and trying to teach that to kids that are in school and all of that? You know what I mean?
But do you think that will still work in their advantage?
In the student's advantage,
No student advantage, in their business advantage.
the economy.
In business advantage.
The advantage,
it will.
like the people, I think in the show with the people who are actually behind the entire
The
education
entire
system who are benefiting
system,
from it.
yes.
Would they benefit from? I mean, they benefiting from whatever they're pushing right now, whatever system they instilling in kids now. Right now, they benefit.
But
why won't they if they change it towards?
But now, if they make you aware of everything that is happening in a financial world, would you still be able to spend the way you are spending right now?
I guess
in
for
education?
for their own benefit, then maybe it's not wise for them to let us know what the nitty-gritty parts of financial behavior, you know. But for our own sake, and so that it's easier for us to also make better decisions, because not all debt is bad debt, you know. And you don't know, they don't tell you that in school. They just tell you don't acquire debt, you know.
Because if you're educated about
then you'll know there's good and bad debt,
and then it's gonna work against them.
Yeah,
they're not gonna benefit.
That's why
if they teach you how to do your tax returns at school,
then you obviously
gonna
Obviously
get it
taking
done,
away from
and
business.
you're taking away
Less
from
penalties.
them. Yeah, how many people right now at our age who
Know how
don't
to
even
feel.
know how to
do their tax returns?
how many people? I still struggle.
That's one hell of a job.
It's crazy.
So we are going to
It's
go see. Some people are like, this thing is a process, so let me just let it go. The money goes to wherever it goes to.
And there's penalties for every time you don't submit your tax returns.
So
there's
one.
penalties.
One.
And their penalties, they take them serious more if they owe you something. There's one of these, I don't know, it was one of these celebrities, they asked a question. One of these questions was about, do these people take whatever they're doing serious when they're owing you, more of if you owe them. If you owe them, they will make sure they brutalize you.
It's different.
But now if they owe you, they will always come back this week. And you should. It's not a matter of you have to, but you should be. Understand that we have to come. If they say come back next of next week, come back next of next week. But to you, when they say we're coming to take our money, they're coming today, and they're going to take your couch, take your TV, and take everything that they will make sure it will bring back their cash.
Yeah.
There was also this diagram Robert actually drew. So basically, he calls it the cash flow quadrant. Cash flow quadrant. So it's employees, small businesses, and then on the right side it's business owners and then investors. And then he explains that the people that actually pay a lot of tax are the employees and small business owners.
Yeah.
And then if you have like a business and you have employees, those are the people that actually pay the tax for you. So you end up paying less tax if you are a business owner or an investor.
Yeah.
For me, that was like,
And people will be asking, how does that happen? How does someone who's an investor or who's a business owner not pay too much tax? And it's simple.
They utilize levy as well.
It's simple. What they do is, it's what Robert Kiyosaki and other financial experts and advisors, they call it OPM, other people's money. Using other people's money. For instance, if you're borrowing some money or you're getting a loan, are you gonna pay tax to that?
No,
you're not gonna pay tax, and that's what they do.
Yeah, they use debt to actually do the whatever they want to do.
Yeah, and Kiyosaki always says that debt means wealth.
Because you're not using your money.
You're not using your own money. You just take that. That's where now it goes to good debt and bad debt, and that's not something that we are taught.
How about we, based on what you know, break down what you think is good debt and what you think is bad debt for any person, or maybe before we even get there, let's maybe start with how you actually acquired credit. Maybe we can start with that and just like, how do you build a credit score? And a good one for that matter, before you get to, because I mean, for you to get into a field where you either have good or bad debt, you would have at least have acquired some bit of credit. You understand?
Yeah. Okay, now I get
so
you.
Maybe let's start with how you can actually build a good credit score, and then from there we can then move into bad and good debt.
Okay, so I think we can just start by defining what a credit score is, because maybe there's some people who don't know it or don't fully grasp the context of it. So a credit score is the score that they use to determine whether you have been consistent when it comes to paying other loans that you've been given in the past, so that they can see, are you a trustworthy and reliable person that can pay
back.
Yeah. So it's all about that. And usually a credit score starts from 300 to
whatever,
700. Yeah, to 700.
Okay.
So the higher your credit score, the more likely that they're gonna give you some credit.
And the higher credit you have, the more they offer.
Yeah. The more they offer. And the lesser your credit score, around the 300 range, the less
you get offered.
Yeah. So it starts there. And then this is how you build your credit score. Well, this is how I built my credit score. So basically you're just coming out of varsity or coming out of school and you have nothing. And then one thing I did is I opened a clothing account. And then on that clothing account, I educated myself about credit cards before I opened that account. So I had one rule that I used to follow or just keep in mind every time I have that credit card in my hand. So what I do is the rule first. The rule says that don't spend money you don't have.
Yeah.
So meaning whatever cash or amount you're gonna spend on that credit card, make sure it's cash that you have in your pocket. So based off that, what I do is if I want 2 t-shirts, what I do is have the money for those 2 t-shirts, hard cash, and then I go use my credit card
and then pay it
back with the cash. Pay the credit
with the cash.
Yeah, with the cash. So I used to do that for a long time. So they saw that, this person actually pays. He spends money within his means.
Yeah.
So it means that when he spends, it's money he has. So the credit went up and up and up and up.
Kept accumulating.
Yeah, until I opened a bank credit as well for the bigger amounts now. Even with those, I'd spend 15K. 15K I have.
And you just put
for instance, the salary comes in and then I have a credit. I have to pay rent. I don't pay rent from my savings account. I pay it with the credit card and then take that money from the savings, transfer it back to the credit. So they see that money goes out, money comes in. So they see it as that and then it goes up. Stupid the word.
Yeah, when you think about how the system works, because there's so many ways of actually bypassing it.
Yeah.
There's so many ways. Like I don't have a clothing account.
Yeah.
So I built mine based off just the bank only.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
just using that and then paying it back with my money. You know?
Yeah.
Use payback, use payback, use pay. But I think the quickest way, because a lot of people actually do mention it, getting a clothing account is probably the most quickest and easiest.
I think most is most used.
And the
It's most
deadliest.
used.
Yeah.
Because
you
now
always
consumer
you're a
behavior,
consumer,
you go back to
always-
the consumer
yeah, to
behavior.
that
and then
episode, yeah.
you, if you're someone who easily
likes
gets
purchasing,
triggered when it
by
comes to
buying
buying,
things, yeah.
and then
Then
you
it
are
won't
doomed.
work in
And
your
that's
favor,
why most people are like, credit. I don't want credit.
Yeah,
I don't want
doesn't-
credit
yeah.
cards
If you don't know
because they
how
know
to
they
use
can't
money,
control
if
themselves.
you're not literate enough with your finances, then really you'll fall into that rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Of finding yourself
Exactly.
spending money you don't actually have.
And one rule is that always spend money you
money,
have
yeah.
if you have a credit card.
Hey, if you have the credit card, then
Even
you
if it's not about the credit card only, same as these accounts.
yeah, same
clothing
as,
us.
same
Yeah.
thing. I
Their
mean, even
credit
if it's
card,
one
yeah.
item,
They are giving you credit. So
Credit.
it's
even if it's one
Yeah.
item,
Yeah.
Tunyana 150.
Yeah, 150.
You, you know you
Yeah.
have 150. Just buy it on that card and then pay it back with your 150. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't
And-
have to be like 2,000, 3,000 worth of clothing, and then next thing
Yeah.
you find it hard to actually pay it back.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what we end up doing, or we find ourselves in those kind of situations where we spend. And what they normally advise us to do is like, don't spend your whole credit. At least spend and 70% and
They
leave
usually say
30%. Yeah,
70%.
leave
For
30%.
flexibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave 30%.
so that they don't see that this
Yeah.
person manages
Is
like
in a
pillar
deficit.
off.
Yeah, pillar off.
Because
Because
bankrupt.
let's say
Yeah,
kuphela job. Let's say kuphela job. So ngachecka yona lento leyo ukuthi if now you have, maybe let's say you have spent 70% of the credit, then now you're out of employment.
Yeah.
Then now, how are you going to do? Because you're still owing, you spend 70%, that 70% is expected of you to return it back. Now you have a 30% of it. Does this one go down, or they keep on waiting for you to come back?
They wait for your payment.
Yeah, you get blacklisted.
Meanwhile, they add interest.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
interest on it.
So when it comes to this interest, they add interest monthly to every amount that you were supposed to be paying monthly, or they add interest in the lump sum of it.
I think it's also like depends what kind of institution it is.
The
Because
interest is usually on the principal amount.
yeah, the principal amount is what you originally pay.
Okay.
So, like a contract, for instance, a cell phone contract, if you had to take that into consideration, they break down the principal amount into either 24, 12, or 36 months.
36 months,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and then from that, it will determine how much you end up paying back as a total.
Yeah.
The longer your duration, the more money you pay. The more interest is earned on
Yeah.
whatever you pay
Yeah.
back. That's why it's always advisable for you to go for a less duration, like your 12 to 24 months.
Yeah.
Because then the interest earned there is no difference, not so much difference
Yeah,
to what
it's
you
not a
actually
lot,
be
yeah.
paying to the actual price of whatever you're buying, phone, laptop, whatever it is you're buying on contract.
So would you feel the people that they are buying, since you're saying good on the contract part, you're spending more than if you paid cash?
Yeah, you
once off?
definitely.
Yeah, of course,
Right.
You can even make the calculation yourself.
Yes,
If
of
let's say
course.
you have an item for 250,
Yeah.
and its actual buying price prepaid is maybe 10,000. If you pay that 250 for maybe 24 to 36 months, it's way more than it would be if you just paid it 10,000 in cash right now.
But then we have these people who are living back there at home, who are not that financially literate. So what they would say is that if now I can have a credit, right, then I get to a shop, I feel like I want this T-shirt, and I don't have cash, a hardcore cash that I can buy this cash. Then what they would use, like, oh shit, I have an account at this shop. Then they go and swipe it. Then they're getting out.
Yeah.
Remember, there is a fulfillment behind that on its own, saying that I can get whatever I want at any time using this shop cash. Then now you find this time now you have to return it back, because it's funny and it's nice to say you can just acquire something that you want now in an easy manner like this, right? But now when you have to pay it,
It's a problem.
it's like this one, the other one who are smiling now.
Yeah.
Behind you.
There's also things like I don't know if people still do it, but it's still an option when it comes to buying. You know, a form of purchasing, lay buying. Lay buying
is one of the best.
You know, if you don't
have
that
interest,
and it doesn't have interest.
No, it doesn't have.
You know,
interest.
so if you really want
you
something,
remember I was talking about that. Sorry, I was talking about that. Lay buying most run to what? Until up to 3 months.
Yeah.
So mine, I had one running up to 4 months. So this guy, you know what they said? They said now it's 3 months. After 3 months, usually what we do, we cancel you, then take the cash and cancel you for whatever you have bought.
so you forfeit the money also.
Yes, like usually fulfilled everything. So then I called before before the actual date they do that. So I was like, hey, I can't pay it because right now I'm in late when it comes to payment. So they told me that, oh, okay, if that's the case, you have to come and make an arrangement with the management so that they know.
That you'll be making
late payment based on your salary. So your reasoning is substantial for us to understand.
Yeah.
But then if someone doesn't report that, what happens?
You forfeit your money.
You fulfilled your money. On top of that, you if maybe in what debit review you have 100%, you have already lost 1%, because now it becomes 99.9 through that. So it has affected your credit score on its own.
Does lay buying affect your credit score though?
It does. That's what I just found out about that.
Is it?
Yeah, it does.
Sugar behind it different, man. Last time it was just writing you down, Jay.
Yeah, but over how many months you agree on and then you pull
but that's other agreement. If you say you can pay it in 3 months, then if you can't,
then you're not fulfilling your contract, I guess, in a way.
So here's the thing is, you think Dallas Kuluma credit score, what affects your credit score, how to build it, but well, the thing is,
what do you want to need that for?
Yeah, what's that for?
They'll know, bro. They'll know. You'll know very early. You'll know very early. Like a simple thing is like going and buying a phone. Getting a phone on contract, and that one on its own. It's not a serious purchase, no? But lezo guy stress. But your credit, your credit doesn't qualify.
1,000 phones.
Yeah, it doesn't qualify. And then you're wondering, but what do I now need? To get a score that qualifies for me to get a phone that I want to pay $250 for. Not even a huge amount. It's not exorbitant. It's just $250, but nothing serious.
I remember we once went to Edgar's. Remember? We wanted to open accounts. You qualified. I didn't qualify. Then we went back to ask space on what. Did we get an answer for that?
I was talking about code this guy. So
it's low credit score. Normally it's low credit score, though. And there's certain things that where you don't actually get, where these certain contracts that don't apply to your credit score, they don't affect it. Like contracts like rain. Rain doesn't affect your credit score.
It doesn't?
Nah, it doesn't.
A
gym contract doesn't affect your credit score.
There's a guy who has a very low credit score right now. Well, not right now, but back when he was telling me about it because of gym.
Nah, dude.
And he was working towards like recovering because it got fucked up in gym.
I mean, if gym worked, then I could have acquired mine ages ago. Bro.
Yeah.
Because like joining an actual gym that debits on a monthly basis, that was 2018, and it was doing that for like 24 months, but it didn't affect my credit score one bit. Next. So for me, I don't think it actually worked, and it's from an accredited gym.
So
I don't think.
So in that gym, do they offer a certain period for you to gym for?
Yeah, it's a contract. So it's either you join for 12 or you join for 24.
So you can, for 12 months, you can gym for free if maybe you don't. Let's say you jump a month. Then
No.
this month. You have to pay
in areas you need to pay. Though. You have no access. Like any other thing, if you don't have money for it, then it gets cut off. If you don't,
but that one is fixed. It's like on a monthly basis.
Yeah, on a monthly
you have
basis,
to pay.
yeah.
So if you jump, you're out.
If you jump out and you go, you speak to them, and then they either freeze your account or you ask during that period. But this only happens like, let's say you've met your obligations in terms of you've reached your duration of your contract. You've completed it, no? But now you've still kept your contract active, your account. You've kept it active. So what they then do is they would keep your account active, and then upon your request, they would freeze the account. They call it freezing. And then it's either they freeze and then still deduct the same amount, or you say, no, I'm freezing, but reduce it to a lower fee, you know, and the fee might differ from gym to gym. You know, it might not all be the same, you know. So those are ways of just bringing the cost down. If you can't now go like to gym on a daily anymore, and you want to just bring the cost down, but you still have the interest in going, but at the moment maybe you can't. You know, you can still bring the cost down and then just freeze the account for however months they agree to freezing the accounts. You know, with that being said, I think we can just go back to the question I asked you guys about good debts and bad debts.
Okay, for me, that's one thing we are not taught when we grow up, that there's good and bad, right? So it's like, debt is like, you shouldn't have debt. It's a bad thing.
At all.
And then you get to start learning about finances, and then you understand that, there's good debt and bad debt. And good debt is the debt that's gonna fuck you up long run, meaning that you're just getting into debt.
Good or bad?
Bad debt.
Bad.
Yeah,
Because
that's bad.
Good, yeah.
No, bad. So my bad. So you get into bad debt by
there's no return in bad debt.
There's no return. That's what I was
the money just goes to the bank.
It's like liabilities.
It's a liability. It just
liabilities
costs. Like a
from
car.
your own pocket.
Like a car, for instance. A car's a
unless
liability.
you're gonna
put
use
it in
it,
Uber.
for instance.
If it was in Uber, then obviously it's more of an asset because it's paying itself.
And truck you're gonna rent out.
You're
a van,
truck,
whatever.
Anything that can bring you income then is more of an asset than a
debt.
liability.
That's good debt.
So if I had to now go get a loan to buy a truck that will go to MP where it's full of mines, putting like Shele Amalash. All those trips make money, right? All that money that I generate, I then put back into the loan I then asked for and paid off. That would be then considered good debt, because the money that I actually asked for is working for me, and it's not just going back into the bank. But instead it's generating an income. And it's not taking from my pocket as well. It's generating an income while paying me as well. And it pays itself off as well. You know, so to add to what you're saying, I think what good debts are things that basically you can live off, you know, and that can work for you more than you working for them. That can work for you. So like maybe if you got a loan, another example, a loan, and then you get yourself like an accommodation spot, maybe a flat, and then you buy that flat with intentions of either listing it in an Airbnb or whatever the case is, or just renting it out to students. You know, that would be good debt, because you know that there's always money coming in on a monthly basis. You know, unless there's rent. So that money, and then it's called cash flow. So there's always money just in rotation, and you don't just depend on your salary. And then I think that's when people then start to
any debt that you're not gonna have to feel an obligation of recovering from is like good debt. And then whatever debt that you make that you have to actually recover and say I need to finish this debt, and then it's
bad.
Yeah. For instance, there's always arguments whether a car is an investment or a liability. There's always arguments about whether buying a house is a
liability.
Yeah, a liability or an asset. And most people operate under the impression that if you buy a house that you're gonna stay in, it's an investment. It's an investment, yeah, because maybe the house can grow in value, appreciate in value while years go by, but it's not guaranteed.
It's not bringing you any money.
Yeah, it's not bringing you any money. There's no cash flow.
Yeah, there's no cash flow.
But if you buy a house or you just buy an apartment and you rent it out, there's always some cash flow that's coming in. So I think those are the best examples when it comes to the difference between bad debt and good debt.
And one more of theirs, I think there's this concept right now I'm thinking about. If now they tell you, sure, if unganginika 30 rand, you would get 50 rand in return. It will be your amount and the 20 rand. So now they tell you that 50 rand, if you bring 50 rand, then you get what? 20 rand. Then they say, now we have 20 rand. Now you think about if this person wants 30 rand, then after that 30 rand, then I will be able to get 50 rand in return, right? So now you think about that and you don't have the 10 rand. You short of it, then you come back to SK and say, can you just borrow me 10 rand? Then SK tell you that if I give you the 10 rand, he has to come back 15 rand. With interest, right? Then you think about that, then you'll be like, oh, if I take this 10 rand, that makes what? 30 rand. Then in that 30 rand, I can invest that and get 50 rand back. Then you think about that. If you think about that, then 10 rand. Then that 10 rand come back what? With 15 rand. Then for you to come back as what?
Uyabona ntwana yawalawelela amanamba uqeda mention manje mini maths ngizonde esikoleni manje ungifostela ukuthi ngishaye maths.
Yes, you have to hold each number
nje vamele hayi ntwana
okay yithi washaya besimbu ngiyashaya
ngicabanga ukuthi uzokwenza
kumele ayibhale phansi.
Ngizokubuza i-question if kunomuntu oyiphendula wrong uthatha i-short. Yeah. So they tell you ukuthi bona sine 1 million manje.
Sure.
Siyagaya today manje yakho uyaphila na enjoyment zonke yabona.
Sure.
Or you wait 10 years and then kule 10 years says the guy say we 100 million. So which one do you go with? Do you take the money now or wait 10? Do you take the 1 million now or wait 10 years and get your 100 million?
No, wait.
Why?
Was after 10 years I would get more than.
What if you die?
Well, if I die, that's the possibility. But if I die, I die.
I think in this day and age, we also want that instant gratification. You know, so we want things now.
Yeah.
You know, so
Patience.
a lot of people, we don't have that patience. So what people tend to do is then fall into that trap of wanting things now. That's why we find it hard to even like be goal orientated. And then put goals in place that last as long as 10 years. You know, because you want things done now.
It's but I feel the most influence when it comes to that is the cravings. You know, when it comes to cravings, if now you're craving a drug, you're craving for it. So mine is like that. It's a craving. Right? If now I say you give it to you're giving me
that money.
Come on. I have a lot of goals, a lot of dreams that I want to achieve. Like some of them they were long term, but right now you're saying you bring me 1 million. Now they become like long term, but now it's short term with that 1 million.
So most of the people would say I take it money because
What
they want
makes sense
instant
would
gratification.
be, what makes sense
But
is
now
now
it's like
10
it's
years.
like you never had that money, so don't worry
Why?
about
Yeah,
it. Just
now.
chill and look into taking it in the future and just continue with whatever you're doing, manje, to make
Just
things
take a
work.
gamble
And
if
Mike
you
Tola
want,
is Oktola, maybe you are in a good financial
need it.
trade position as well. Yeah, one. Because if you take it now, obvious not to I blew it.
I blew it.
Hey, I blew it.
Why? Financial literacy.
Yeah,
That's
financial
called financial
literacy.
literacy.
Yeah.
And
it's there.
financial
Based
literacy.
on the questioning, it was no need to toilet grand, so I'm taking a shot.
Hey, guys, you're given.
They're good.
But then Glenda Lane is cool mangayo. If financial literacy on its own, it can't just walk and have bones. Because bones, they give it a structure, bones, they give it stability to be able to walk. So the backbones behind this structure is discipline, which is the foundation of everything. When it comes to, especially when it comes to finance, you need discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline and be able to be conscious wherever you are, because as we were talking about buying behavior,
being aware,
you need to be aware, because everything nowadays, wherever your eyes are open, is there for you to sell. It's selling everything to you. It's telling you the money you have at the bank is not enough. You have to spend it with us. They keep on making
always
laws.
offer you things. That's the thing I've noticed. I just opened a new account on a bank account, and they constantly, like every month, they find out how's your experience been. We see you have this product. Would you be interested in getting a credit card? Would you be interested in taking this product, that product? So they're
tempting
always,
you with money.
They'll always tempt you with money. If they see what you are qualified, that's when they throw shit at you, and that's when you're supposed to filter shit. That's when you're supposed to say, you know what, this is not for me, and be a minimalist, as we were saying.
Don't buy shit you don't need.
If you don't need it, don't.
When I learned to show inkumbuza mina yasikhathi ngiyovula credit card for the first time, and ilento boyisho ukuthi if ever you saving, you should save with a goal. Kuna something ngifuna ikhuluma about saving, but about savings. Mara ngizoyikhuluma after this point I'm gonna make. Ukuthi I went there knowing how much I needed for credit, just to begin with.
Sure.
And then I took that money, and they're like, Mara, you
qualify for more.
Why are you taking this? I'm like, because I want this. They're like convincing me to take the higher amount. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to go there, because they know these people, you're gonna be you are a consumer by nature. You are a consumer by nature. You're gonna use that money, and you're gonna spend it. So I told them, I want this money, and I want this money now. If ever I want more, I'm gonna come in next time. So they did it for me, and everything was cool. So in terms of we cover about spending, he learned some people, but save, always save. And then there's some people who are like, nah, fuck saving. You should always invest. Invest. Which one is it? Because those people who say invest, they say that saving is like taking your money and putting it under the mattress. Because you're gonna save it. There's no return at all. Look at the interest that these banks are offering us.
It's no different to FAMP.
And there's inflation. And there's inflation. So it's like you're walking backwards. If you take a singwa today, in 15 rand.
So 20.
In the next year, you're not gonna buy it in 15 rand. So if you take 15 rand, we beg up hands go kamel. You can't buy isingwa again. If you take the 15 rand, that same amount, you can't buy it in the coming years. So that's what they say about saving. And then the people who encourage saving, who are not investing, see investing as you guys are just gambling.
High risk.
You guys are just gambling. So which one is it? Which one do we go for?
I mean, dude, as we've said, if you want your money to gain interest, if you want to see your money grow, then you're gonna have to invest. Saving is gonna make your money grow, but it's stagnant. It's only based on what you put in, But with investment, it can work in so many different ways because there's different portfolios, So it can work in a term where the interest in terms of the percentage is way higher than what you would get from just saving.
And another thing, I think as Melissa covered it before we go forward about saving is that saving versus investing is that you should understand that there's always objectives. When you save, you should save with an objective. because you're not gonna save and expect to be rich or build wealth
from your savings.
from just your savings. Yeah, you can save for a goal that you want to achieve. For a plan that you want to get done with. If you're having a trip, you want to do that trip. If a goal for save, but if your sole purpose of saving is to building your wealth, then are you failing? And then you should go to learning about investing, diversification. One is and learn more about interest as well. Learn more about inflation, isn't it? And those are the things we don't learn at school.
Yeah, you don't get
the
out of it.
Things this is funda. When demand is high, supply is low, and then you learn with the inflation is this. Yeah, one. So abakutshela ukuthi personally when is affect kanjani. Yeah, one. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Kakhulukazi ephini kuthiwa seyifaka I think especially my parents aku age yethu. Most yiwo lawa athathe from financial literacy yasekhaya the way bayithathe ngakhona. Then most anayo now because when it comes to finance I think is one of a IT industry where we have to be updated every day on what is happening, what is new. Because if you're not aware of what's happening now in terms of inflation, in terms of what is happening in the market, it's one of those always growing industry. So in the industry, you always have to be aware with in our things because it's a field of making money. So I see if you look at your figure again, you figure better so so ile into kahle kakhulu into esizama ukuthi siemphasize when it comes to financial literacy ukuthi ama street workers and everyone was watching. Just being like
know how to spend your money.
It's like make sure with know how to you spend your time and spend your money. Because your time is everything.
Where you spend your time is where you spend your money.
You understand? If now you can spend time to learn about financial literacy, you'll be able to spend your money wisely. But if now you ignore that time will come back and kill you in a financial state.
And our finances are like the core thing in our lives. Like if you don't get your finances right, everything is just like collapses like a domino effect. If you get your finances right and everything just starts building, opening and then you get opportunities as well. So it's a very important thing with you. You know how to spend your money, you know how to acquire your money. So yeah, and
not all
if
debt
ever
is bad
being
debt.
not all debt is bad. Not all debt is bad debt. So and another thing about Shalabayish, if I was the spiritual person, the money is just energy. It moves with you, it moves with how you feel, it moves with how you think, and thoughts are energy. So
it's potential energy.
Potential energy.
Because it will only do what you.
So not every. So after that, there's always action. In that DJs who are always act.
No. I will take the last one.
We'll take the last one. In closing.
No.
Yeah, but we should do an episode about Lama platforms, Kulume about credit score
how to actually
and what app can you use to check my credit score or to view your credit report
and to invest.
Apps to invest, apps to save, apps to automate your finances. So that not every month account like there's easy ways to just automate your finances and then you just live your life. So as you always say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and take care of your pockets.
This is the Empty Street Podcast,
and we signing out.
Sayonara.